Well, hello and welcome to Morning Coffee with Maddog Merv. Oh, wow. Beautiful morning. Tell you all about what's been going on here and tell you what's coming up on the channel. So stay tuned. We got a bit to talk about. Welcome to Morning Coffee. Maddog Merv today. Got our French roast this morning
Bagel.
again. No wonder I'm a big fat guy. I mean,
And then
holy
they
cow.
I always had a schmear. A schmear. A schmear. A
He's
schmear.
probably going for bagels. He's trying to steal.
Oh, my gosh. I can't even believe it.
I have no clue.
And I got a bunch of chores to do. Oh, who wants to do that?
For a shout out this morning, I would like to, not a channel, but to one of the patrons of this particular channel. And I've mentioned him before. His name's Mark, and he does some wonderful things to help support this channel. The most recent, and I don't have it here, it's in my car, where I got it the other day. But a really nice picture. It's a painting of a caboose, which is really cool, and it's framed, and will go in the doghouse over there by the mountains, by the train area. So thank you, Mark, for that. And then he got me this other wall hanging that has got all of these World War II tanks from different countries, which is really cool, from the U.S. and Russia, and there's French tanks in there, British tanks, even Japanese tanks and German tanks. It's really, really cool. And thanks again to Mark for that. That actually I took downstairs and is sitting by my computer in my little computer room down there. So I'll put a picture up of what they look like. And again, big shout out and thanks to Mark, one of the patrons of the channel, who again does a lot to support what we do here. And I thank all of you who do support, either by watching or some of the messages that you guys send, the well wishes, and some of the stuff that you guys send. It's very humbling. So that's today's shout out. So for our show tomorrow, what are we doing? It looks like we are going to be looking at the gift that I'm giving my daughter, and what it is. It's the car from Supernatural. Its nickname is Baby. It's a '67 Impala 4-door AMT. It was AMT. I came out with a kit of it a couple of years ago. So I finally got around to building it because I want to put it in a display case. And earlier this year, I found a couple of figures by Iceman. I think it's Iceman Collections, out of Arizona. They do some great 3D printing stuff. They did that Santa and his naughty helper that I did over Halloween. Anyway, I got these two figures. It's Sam and Dean Winchester from the series Supernatural, and I'm going to put them next to the car. But the show's going to be that build and painting these figures and getting them on the base for my my one daughter, who's really into horror movies. She really likes the series Supernatural. So I thought for her birthday this year, coming up in a week, that's what I would do. So that's tomorrow's show, is the build of this '67 Impala by AMT. So this year's IPMS Nationals is supposed to be in San Marcos, Texas. Okay, well, there's no direct flight to San Marcos. You do take a flight to like Austin and then get a shuttle or whatever. Being a vendor, we had planned on just driving down there, take a couple days, drive down there, and ship merchandise directly from the distributors, preferably new merchandise and the best-selling merchandise according to what the computer says, and send that there. And then doing the usual at the end of nationals and buying from some of our distributor friends, our manufacturer friends that are already there, buying a bunch of merchandise and then renting a trailer and hauling it back to Salt Lake. And I was okay with it. looking forward to it. But the more that Loic got looking into the figures, uh, it wasn't going to make financial sense. It was going to be a very expensive trip just to get there, just to get back, just to get things rented. Um, and then the possibility of having to ship some things back, you know, depending on how much sold or didn't sell. When we go to those nationals, he'll take a lot of, he'll take a few nice new, kits, maybe 5, 10 different, brand new hot sellers. And then he'll take a bunch of accessories that are hard to get anywhere else. He'll take a bunch of old kits that he's got overstock of that we can sell for like half price. And those are very popular. But those are things that he has in stock here, and to ship those to Texas would just be cost prohibitive. So he made a wise business choice not to go this year. But it still kind of affected me in the way of, man, I love nationals. I love the crowd and the meeting the people and just the whole, I don't know, the whole thing. It's a great experience for me, and I miss not being able to go. And Loic's a great guy. He really is a great guy to spend time with. Unfortunately, it didn't work out this year, and next year is in Madison, Wisconsin, even further away from here. Probably not going to go to that either. So I was reminiscing about some of the nationals that we had been to, and I got thinking, for those people who are just now going for the first time or are going to go in the next year or so, there's some things you really need to know. Because the first time I ever went to a nationals, Buddy and I drove there with my little 2-year-old son at the time, in a convertible, and it was a great road trip. But once we got there and walk in that vendor area, it's complete sensory overload. You're talking, like 100 little hobby stores, basically, all in one place. And these used kit vendors that there's always, 10 or 15 of. You find kits that are out of production, kits that you've wanted for years. Like when I got there, I found an AC 130 in 48 scale, and immediately out comes the wallet and, $100. You can go crazy, but you can also drive yourself crazy going to something like that unprepared. So I thought it was important to go over some of the basics that will really help you, like making a list of the kind of things. Let's say I'm into M4 Shermans this year. I'm looking for this from Value Gear. I'm looking for this accessory set. I'm looking for that accessory set, type of thing. And I put them on my list. And then as I go to nationals and I walk around, make a quick walk around of all of the vendors. If I see something that's on that list that absolutely, I know it's like going to be the only one of, because it's a resin kit or something and it's a good deal, okay, I'll snag it then. Otherwise, I just kind of go around to all of the vendors, see what everyone's got, and then I look at my list and see if there's anything I can get from my list. And if not, then it's just kind of a free-for-all. Well, let's see what I'm in the mood for this year. Maybe I could pick up some ship things, or maybe I could pick up some car things, whatever is actually there that kind of fits the type of stuff I build. And it makes it a lot more manageable, easier to manage your money that way, and it's still just a whole lot of fun. Now, I've been watching some of the pictures come out of San Marcos this year, and the models that are on the table for the contest, I'm glad I don't have to judge that. Amazing, absolutely, every flippin' piece of artwork on those tables. That's why I don't compete. Competition's so tough because there's so many really, really good modelers out there. So anyway, that's why I put that piece together on how to shop at nationals. On the stash, I have no clue. I have no clue what I'm going to do. usually I'll be at nationals, and so I'll pick up, 10 or 15 new kits, or not new kits, but kits that I can put in the stash and go through. But right now, I'm a little bit short on that, so we'll see what I run into and what we decide to do for the stash. This last week here, we were very fortunate. So when I'm down in St. George and in Vegas, it's 110, 112 degrees, and heat's heat. But you got to remember, when you're dealing with 15% humidity, it's not horrid when you're in the shade. It's livable when you're in the shade. You get in the sun, of course, and it feels like you're facing a nuclear blast. But in the shade, it's not terrible. And especially when the sun comes over, when the clouds come over the sun and give you that shade, it's like, well, okay, I can live with this. So we get home, and it's still 100 degrees here, but then the weather hit. We got the monsoon season, and what that does is it brings particularly afternoon thunderstorms, which tend to drop the temperature and raise the humidity, which that part sucks. But this week we had some storms just lined up one after another, and so our highs have only been in the 80s, and we've gotten like 3.5 inches of rain in like 3 days. It was really good. I mean, we got the rain we would normally have in July, August, and September, all in just a couple of days. There was some flooding here, of course. Tends to flash flood in the desert, but basements get flooded because some of the culverts around here were blocked. But good for my grass, yay! Good for my plants, and the temperature will be good for working out here in the doghouse. So at least for the next 7 days, we should be in the 80s to low 90s, which with beautiful skies, couldn't ask for anything more here. Well, folks, I'm about done with my coffee. I'm going to go get going on baby, see if we can get this done today. You folks have the rest of a great weekend, and we will see you tomorrow for the main show, whatever it winds up being. Bye-bye.